Hey, what up, everybody? We are back with another standard video, and this time, well, considering that right now the PT's going on, at the time of recording this, they're in top 8 right now. I decided why not do what everybody else in standard is apparently doing and just play one of the PT decks. So I decided I'm going to try Dimir Excruciator. Now, for those of you that have been paying attention to the competitive Magic scene, Doomsday Excruciator is a card that Javier Dominguez actually won one of the last like PTs or Worlds events with. This deck in the, or rather, this card in the Dimir Demons deck ended up doing really well. Just being able to slam this as an uncounterable 6/6 and then just take everything but the bottom 6 cards off of your opponent's library and then swing in with a Restless Reef to mill them was huge. However, with Lorwyn Eclipse, things have definitely changed a little bit, and some Universes Beyond stuff has really made this deck a little bit faster, arguably, than it has been in the past. Out of Lorwyn Eclipsed, we have Deceit. Alright, Deceit is a 6 mana 5/5 with 2 enters the battlefield abilities. If you pay blue blue, it returns a non land permanent into its opponent's or its controller's hand. And if you cast it for black black, then you can basically Thoughtseize an opponent. Now, what's really great about Deceit is you can evoke it. You can pay 2 and do either of those abilities, which is sick. Now, the thing is, while that's really cool, it's kind of slow. It's like, yay, you can do this for 2 mana. We're not necessarily scamming it like we would see in standard or modern or any other format. We're going to try to get this and Harvester of Misery all into the graveyard so we can copy it with technically superior Spider-Man, but because Magic Online and Arena things, Cavero the Mind-Bitten. Alright, he enters the battlefield as a copy of some card in the graveyard, except it's a 4/4 and it's a spider human hero in addition to its other types. What's really awesome about this is if you cast it for, let's say, blue, blue, black, black, and copy a Deceit out of your graveyard, congratulations, you get both of the abilities. Or if you cast this and then get rid of a Doomsday Excruciator, congratulations, you cast it, and now everything but the bottom 6 cards of your opponent's library are at the bottom. It's kind of a sweet deck. So these creatures are part of the main game plan. They are the main game plan, alongside Restless Reef. What are we going to have in here to fill it up? Basically, we're playing blue-black control, kind of. Stock up to refill our hand, Winter Night Stories to discard one of those big creatures, Deadly Cover-Up to basically get rid of our opponent's stuff. Chances are we're going to be able to collect Evidence 6 at any time, and then just Surgical Extraction some stuff out of their graveyard, out of their deck. Arch Enemy's Charm just as a means of removing stuff. Bitter Triumph, removal for creatures and planeswalkers, and it lets us discard things. Requiting Hex to get rid of everything at the low end. Intimidation Tactics to Thoughtseize all of the creatures that are seeing a lot of play. And Insatiable Avarice helps us find our cards, or it can help us mill out our opponent if we put it on the right mode after an Excruciator hits the battlefield. Sideboard, about what you would kind of expect out of a blue-black deck. Alright, Quantum Riddler is here to help refill the hand. It's a good beater in sideboard matches, really good against stuff like the Is It Lessons deck. Negate, because you need a counterspell. 4 copies of Duress, because good God, Jeskai Control is definitely out there. Shoot the Sheriff for creature decks. Cruel Claws Heist, again for lessons, for control. You've got Soul Guide Lantern as a means of dealing with the opposing Sultai Spider-Man deck, and Torpor Orb. Though it's important to understand this about Torpor Orb, while it says that it causes creatures' abilities to not trigger, this is really good against the Elementals deck. Not necessarily great against the Spider-Man deck, because he still gets to enter the battlefield as a copy of stuff. So it doesn't just shut down his enters ability. But that's everything. Like always, don't forget, like and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead, charm that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in match number 1. All right, match number 1, we're going to be on the draw. Our opponent's keeping 7. We might be able to keep this 7. Admittedly, we want blue for stock up, and our opponent is playing the same deck that we are. All right, so the mirror. It's definitely good that we kept this intimidation tactics. We're going to take an Excruciator out of their hand, and let's see what they got going. Deadly Cover-Up, Requiting Hex, Avarice. Yeah, it's everything that we expected. Okay. So the bad news is we're not going to be able to throw this into the graveyard, because if they deadly cover up us at any point, they're going to eat us alive. Alright, they are probably casting their Avarice. Yeah. Alright, so they're going to draw a bunch of cards and pass after that. Sick. We hit our land. Now, as much as I want to do the same thing here, I think instead I'm just going to go for stock up. And let's go ahead and hit this Deceit and a Undercity Sewer. And then everything on the bottom in a random order and pass. Hey! Our opponent is over here being a really good sport. Apparently, we're playing the exact same matchup that is in the PT finals right now. So, you know what? Not bad. Hate that we're doing this as just kind of a dry run. So I have no idea realistically what I'm supposed to be doing. Alright, let's see. Undercity Sewers. Finding a swamp. I'm okay with that. Let us go ahead and... yeah, let's go ahead and just take a look at what our opponent's about to do. Alright, so... opponent's talking about how we need to play good. Alright, so our opponent has a bunch of stuff. What exactly do we want here? I mean, they're about to kind of cook us. I want to take this. Let's take a Cavero here. Or is it the Deadly Cover-Up? It's definitely the Cavero. Alright, we'll take the Cavero here because now our opponent is probably going to just go ahead and copy our Deceit, do both modes, and then take a bunch of stuff away. Alright, so they play a Cavero. Cool. They also played a Swamp. So we know exactly everything that's in their hand. They can do whatever they want to, but they're going to get rid of our Excruciator, I have to imagine. And just kind of cook us from there. Now, the great thing would also just be take Excruciator, because if we hit our Cavero here, then this Doomsday Excruciator goes insane. Besides the fact that we have to then get milled for 4, which really bites. Okay. So, took our Deceit and Insatiable Avarice. Alright. So they know exactly what the move is going to be here. All right, they are passing. We're going to hit another swamp, and we're just going to yield through this turn. As cool as it's going to be to just play like Harvester here, I think some amount of what we have to do is just try and deal with their board. Okay, opponent's about to Winter Night Stories. Okay. Winter Night, and then what? What will this opponent do? Threw an archenemy's charm of their own into the graveyard and a bitter triumph. Okay. So we know they've got Requiting Hex and some more stuff just waiting. They're flashing it back. They discarded their Deadly Cover-Up. Okay. Gloom Lake being played. And now what are you going to do? What would be kind of sick is if you went and Deceit bounced your Cavero back to hand. But I don't think they're going to do that. So I think we're just going to see how this plays out. All right. Bitter Triumph in hand for us is huge. So we've got a lot of firepower in our hand right now. Opponent is going for this attack. Let's go ahead and pay 3 life, just kill Cavero. Because I don't want to expose this Excruciator. Harvester of Miseries is going to be nice, but it's not that thrilling of a card. Alright, are they playing their own Excruciator? It looks like they are. Yikes, this is about to be excruciating. Okay. No, they're going for a Deceit here. That's kind of rad. Alright. So, you go for Deceit. Obviously, I know you're going to have nothing for that. And then with that on the stack, let's go ahead and exile this. If they go and copy our Excruciator next turn, this will be terrible. They're probably going to take a Hex, though. Yeah. Okay, so they took a Hex just in case. Ooh, this is a brutal turn. Okay. So next turn we have the mana to cast an Excruciator. I don't know if we want to cast an Excruciator. So we're just going to pass here and hope that everything goes well. An opponent's got their own Requiting Hex in hand. Oh, they're going to play a Harvester. Other creatures get minus whatever. Cool. Alright. Well. I mean, now I just feel compelled to do this. Let's force it. Okay. Opponent draws a card. Oh. Okay. Beginning of combat. Let's cast this. Now, opponent has to play this extremely tight. They have to animate another Restless Reef here. And if they do, they might have us. Okay. So they did go for it. Alright. So, mill us. We're milling 4. The only thing that we got going for us right now is actually nothing. I mean, that does stop us from drawing an extra card, but I don't know. We do have to just play it like that. All right. We blinked first, so opponent, if you got it, you got it. Yeah, there's the other. Man, a second Requiting Hex would have been really nice. Okay. Alright. Opponent, do your worst. Now, what's really good is technically we can live here. We can technically live. But I doubt our opponent has any counter spells. I think we're running maybe the exact same 75. Okay. Kill it. I think we got there. I think we did. Holy cow. I cannot believe we got there. That was wild. Whoo, doggy. All right. So now we got to think about the mirror. Huh. All right. So in the mirror match, we probably want some number of just removal spells, and is Cruel Claw's Heist going to be that good? That's a really good question. I think those are fine, and I think the cards that we want to get rid of are maybe these Deadly Cover-Ups because they're just a bit too slow. And we'll drop, I think it might just be a copy of Cavero. Or no, I think it's just a copy of Excruciator. Give them less targets. And I think we'll run it like this. This is going to be a long game. And I could maybe even see arguments for Quantum Riddler, but let's find out. Alright, so opponent is starting game 2 with 7. I don't like the idea of us starting with this 7. This isn't much better, but I think it's fine enough. We'll put the third Superior Spider-Man on the bottom and just run it like this. Alright, we're going to start with this Undercity Sewer. Okay. Surveil. We will keep you on top. I like the idea of having an untapped land. Alright. Opponent plays a land and passes. We're going to play a land and pass. And it's just going to be a lot of draw go, I feel like. Okay, they are Winter Night Stories. Now, here's the problem with this. Winter Night Stories is really good. If they throw an Excruciator down because they're on the play, they're going to have a huge advantage that we don't. Oh, yeah, they go Doomsday and Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. So, I think the move is just going to be Gloom Lake, draw some cards. Definitely taking. Hmm. I think it is Avarice, and it might just be a Restless Reef. Yeah. And let the rest of it go. Because going 4/4 copy of Doomsday Excruciator is backbreaking. Okay. Yeah. So you can absolutely pop off. That is totally okay with us. Mmm. Okay. Okay. Is it possible that we just make them draw? I think it's definitely just make them draw, and then they'll draw an extra card on top of whatever they draw for turn. And then I think we just win by virtue of not dying. Yeah. I think we survive here and they don't. I think we actually got this. Holy cow. Wow. All right, opponent casts Deceit, looking at my hand, and they're going to see that I have a whole lot of nothing. I think we might have actually gotten there. This was a very bizarre game. Now, the problem is, I should not, under any circumstance. Well, actually, you know what? I could cast this Cavero, but I think I just cast it for all black and a single blue. All right, an opponent's discarding. Do they have the ability? Yo, hold up. This is actually golden. Black, black, black. Oh, wait. We got to do a blue. Blue, black, black. All black and a blue. We will cast our Cavero. Okay. We're going to take a look at your hand. We're going to make it the prettier Deceit. Look at your hand. What do you have, opponent? Oh, oh, huge. So big for us. All right, glad we took that insatiable avarice. Being able to do that instead of anything else is incredible. All right, and we've got requiting hex, so we can stop you. And unless you have anything else, this is GG. GG's opponent. 0 cards in library to 4 cards in library. This is an insane game. The mirror is crazy. The PT finals look just like this. And by God, if we were there with the draws we had, we would have won. See you guys in match number 2. All right, match number 2. We're going to be on the draw with a, I guess, keepable hand. I mean, we're going to hit all of our land drops. Being able to Undercity Sewer here and potentially get something for underneath our Cavero might be fine. Opponent mulls to 5. Okay, and they start with a Steam Vents. Okay, so we're probably not getting much of our graveyard interacted with. We'll put another land at the bottom and say go. Alright, opponent shocks that one in. Are they lessons? Yeah, no, they are the elementals deck. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a peek at your hand, opponent. What you got? Alright, we are definitely taking that Vibrance. You're not getting that. And then you've got Quantum Riddler. I mean, would Vibrance have been all of that bad for us to deal with? Maybe not. And I mean, we are just going to... Oh wow, they warped the Riddler. Interesting. So I guess it kind of becomes a question of what do we want to do? What do we want to kill? Because obviously dumping anything with this bidder is going to be fine. Personally, I would like to see this opponent... Oh, you're flipping it back? Okay. Okay. Well, you dump another Ashling. That's fine. I mean, we're definitely going to get elementaled in some capacity. Alright, we're going to go ahead and kill that. Oh no, not taking 3 damage. We're going to discard a card. We will discard one of our extra lands. Honestly, I'm down to just dump a Restless Reef here. And then we can send your Ashling back to your hand. Yeah. Absolutely cool sending Ashling back to your hand and then looking at everything you got going on. Okay. So, target opponent. Exile the card. Bounce that. Alright. Making sure we do it all in the correct order. Alright. What does this opponent have? Sunderflock, Ashling's Command. Create a token that's a copy of target elemental you control. Definitely not letting you keep that. And I mean, cool. Alright, what you doing? You are discarding that breeding pool. Playing Eclipsed Realms. Naming Elemental. You got 3 cards in hand. One of them is a flock. But do I give a flock? I definitely don't now that I see this. Alright, that's down. Land's tapped. And then we're just cooking this opponent. Alright, we don't have to worry about much of anything that they're doing at this point. And, I mean, see, return 2 cards, you ain't got creatures. It's definitely just going to be exiling something. Okay, you got Sunderflock and a bunch of other cards in your hand. What you doing? I can promise you that will not live. Just go ahead and put that out of your mind. This thing is not sticking around. And discarded a Sunderflock. Okay, so now I don't know anything that is in your hand. Is that a little worrisome? Probably. Okay. Now we have a very unique problem. Alright. Let's go ahead and search our library for a card. I mean, yeah, there's no reason for us to just not do this. Alright, what card do we want to put on top of our library? It's probably a Deceit. Deceit's probably the best card that we can throw in our hand at this point. Oh, wow. And we just hit double Deceit. Neat. Alright, this is coming in as a Swamp. Because if they bounce this Kavera back to our hand, we're cool with it. And again, we just get to keep taking things from them again and again and again. Like, there is no world where they get to keep that. Alright, you're paying 3 for something? Nope. Taking that back? Okay. You're going to be doing that a lot, I feel like. Green. Green. Vibrance? Interesting. Okay. You get a Cavern. Play a Cavern. On human. Human, you say. Ah. Riddlin. Well, opponent, I regret to inform you, but you ain't keeping that. Yeah, you definitely ain't keeping that, big dog. Okay, cool. Opponent saw the writing on the wall. Mulling to 5 feels so bad for game 1. Alright, what do we want against? Is it elementals? Torpor Orb might be fine. Cruel Claws Heist might be fine. And maybe a copy of Shoot the Sheriff. Okay, these Requiting Hexes are the most useless card in this matchup. They will not see any play whatsoever. Alright, I think we do bring in the shoot the sheriffs, and we maybe drop a Excruciator. It's either drop Excruciator or we drop Harvester, and I see more logic to maybe dropping Excruciator, but I can see a universe where just Harvester isn't dealing with a whole lot. Alright. Wow. This is a strong hand. If we hit the rest of our lands, we'll keep. Opponent mulled to 6. So that's not super great. Botanical Sanctum pass. We're just going to go Restless Reef. Tapped and pass. They're going to go Cavern on Elemental. Probably play Ashling this turn. If they didn't play Ashling, I would be surprised. Okay, Flame Braider. Huh. Do I care about Flame Braider more than I do the other stuff that they have in hand? And I think the answer is yes. Really wish that we hit another land here. So that's feeling less than great. Okay. Vibrance. Vibrance is good. You get a land, probably going to be another cavern. Yeah. Naming elemental, not doing anything with it. Holy. Alright, well, let's gift him a card. Would love it if we could get a land. That would be a real gift right now. These are all cards. These are all cards. Let's go ahead and take Deceit from this opponent. And say go. And again, we're just looking for land at this point. They can't cast this Seer, which is fine. They hit another Vibrance off the top, which is crazy. They're going to reveal what? Steam Vents. Steam Vents enters play. Shocked in. Warping the Riddler. Okay. So we're just gonna do this and say go. Okay, land tapped. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now, they do that on elemental. I would like to target this and discard a card. Whoops, it got countered. Oh, shucks. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm casting my demon. And what are you going to do, opponent? Because you, at this point, cannot cast any of your spells besides Seer. There's a cavern on elemental. Oh, you seared your own roaming throne. That's so sick. All right, but we still won that match. Give it up for Demons. See y'all in match number 3. All right, match number 3. We're going to be on the draw yet again. 4 lands. I'm cool with this hand. We'll keep it. We get to go Restless on one. Oh, no. It's something with red. But they didn't do anything on turn 1, so maybe it's bad and red? Inspiring Vantage. And nothing again. Land tapped. Say go. Inspiring Vantage and nothing? Okay, dog, what are you doing? I'm so confused. I'll stock up and hope to hit a card. What is this opponent like? Are you Boros Dragons with, again, just nothing in hand? Alright, any order. I mean, if you're Dragons and you're just gonna play your dude, it's fine. I'm not particularly thrilled, but like, it could be a whole lot worse. Okay, so yeah, you're Dragons. And you didn't play anything. You didn't play anything. See, now I just gotta find out. Now I gotta see. What are you trying to play? Oh, Dragonhawk. Yeah, you're not getting that. Alright, Sunbillow. Oh, God. You played a Clarion Conqueror. That's dead. You know what's even better? Is the fact that I can just go... Oh, God. Arch enemy bounce them both back would just be vile here. Okay, so Winter Night Stories. We'll draw. We will discard a creature card. And pass. Alright. Are you shocking it in? You shock it in. Are you gonna... Oh, no, you play Momo? And then you go for it. Okay, cool. That's sick, too. Alright, well... What do we want to do here in this particular circumstance? Oh, easy. Well... Let's start by playing land, and then we're just going to Deadly Cover-Up. And then we're just gonna get rid of that and that. And we'll get rid of... Well, we know that you've got literally just 2 Burst Lightnings in your hand. Let's get rid of your Dragonhawks. Yep. Okay. Your hand looks bad right now, opponent. And I feel for you. Alright, you draw a card. Wow. You play a Hellkite? That's cool. Anyway. Let's black, black, blue, blue. We're going to go ahead and cast this as Deceit. Yeah, do that. Exile. Bounce this back. Okay. That's gone. Now, I find it absolutely hilarious. I would love to see this opponent just blow their entire hand trying to get rid of this thing. Momo. Okay. This is just mean. This just feels rude. Like, can we just not bully this poor opponent right now? And then we'll bounce Momo back to your hand, I guess. Are you going to go ahead and shoot one of these? Or are you going to shoot me with it? Okay, you're going straight at my face. Cool. I'm taking your other one. And now you're just left with Momo. And next turn it's just Cavero and like turn one of these into... Oh god, I can just destroy this opponent. And again, it doesn't even feel fair. Yeah, dog. Cool. I'm not even going to copy my Doomsday Excruciator. I'm just going to copy your Nova Hellkite. Though, would it be funny? It absolutely would be. It would be hilarious. Alright. We done here? Yeah, we're done here. Cool. Opponent scooped it up. Alright, so what do we bring in against them? It could be Torpor Orb. That stops a lot of their ETBs. That's fine. We can bring in Shoot the Sheriff. Kills their creatures. Cruel Claw's Heist is a possibility. Requiting Hex. Not great because most of their stuff is above 1. In fact, Cruel Claw's Heist is terrible. Just bring in Torpor Orb in the removal, and we'll run it like this. Alright. This hand is keepable. I mean, we want to see more lands realistically, but it's keepable. And there's a third land, so it got better. Alright, we will play Watery Grave tapped and pass. Opponent goes Voice of Victory. Well, opponent, how about no? This is basically the same deck that I've been running on the MTGO ladder, as it were, for like the last couple of days. Is it worth it to kill that thing? Probably. But I think it might just be a hair better. Just marginally better to discard that Excruciator. Because we got removal this way. Yeah, you're going to go for the Rest in Peace. And I'm fine with that. opponent, I'm not super pressed about a lot of things that you're doing. But, alright, let's go ahead and discard this Winter Night story. We need another... We just need, like, runner with land. Magmatic Hellkite's pretty good. Pretty strong. Let's get a swamp. And upkeep. Okay. I mean, now it's just stock up. Shoot the sheriff is fine. Let's get this Restless Reef. And then play that out. Okay. Opponent's probably going to go for... Hellkite. Okay. Alright, so... I say... we do another stock up. We hit... actually no. Let's do Multiversal and Deadly Cover Up. Put those on the bottom in any order. Let's do this as a swamp. And then we will pass. Now the problem is, our opponent has the ability to go and do some really gross stuff with the next couple of cards that they have. Their aggression is definitely going to be key here. We have a Shoot the Sheriff to get rid of their Hellkite. They're going to shock this in. And if they just go for, let's say, Dragonhawk here. Okay. They're just doing that. So now I'm okay doing this. I'm getting hit for a bunch right here. Ooh, this is really bad. But I think we gotta cast this demon. Big old demon. Gotta come down. If they have a Dragonhawk, we're dead. Get Lost and Burst Lightning. Okay. Yeah. That does it. Alright, so our hand was just a little slow. And now there's maybe some logic to having at least one of those unrequiting hexes or requiting hexes. Is Torpor Orb that good? Not as good as it could have been. But it's still fine. I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting spots here. Like, Deceit and Doomsday Excruciator are fine. Insatiable Avarice is okay. Intimidation Tactics. It's probably like one of the slower cards. I think we just got very unlucky with maybe some of the draws that we had. Alright, we're going to be on the play. Hand is actually fine. We're going to start with Restless Reef, go into Watery Grave and Intimidation Tactics. I think I can be fine with this hand. This deck is all about just getting under us slightly, and they definitely managed to pull that off. Opponent's probably going to keep a pretty solid 7 if it's aggressive enough like it was that last game. Okay, opponent keeps their 7. Restless and go. I mean, the one big turn 1 play they can have is Momo. Which, yeah, that's definitely good. Let's go ahead and cast this. Look at their hand. See if they have anything worth it. Man, it almost would have been great for us to just take that last turn. Alright. So, we're definitely going to take some damage here. And the problem is, do we want to discard anything? Okay, you go and cast that. One of the 2 that you had in hand. Oh, well, that just makes this easy. Shoot the sheriff. Targeting Momo. This will come down as a swamp. Tapped, and then we will stay go. Winter Night Stories is maybe pretty weak, just because we have to discard a card. Alright, there's another. We now have seen everything in your hand. Alright. As much as... You know what? Actually, do I want to cast that? No. We're going to save it. Alright, they have another Maelstrom. Dang. Alright. So, tap that to discard a card. Gonna pay that, discard you. Get a land. It's got a stun counter. Alright. Well, good news is, next turn we can hard cast this Deceit. Bad news is, this hand is looking mad slow if all we're doing is just casting Deceit. Alright, but we do just have to cast it. Swamp, bounce, doot. Alright. Bounce a Rest in Peace back to your hand. And... wow. That's disgusting. So now you're just going to do what? Do all that and get Dragonhawk. Yeah, get the value engine going. Alright, here comes another one. And it becomes a race of my 5/5 beat versus your card doing a lot more. Alright. Yikes. Okay. Well, now we need to discard something. Problem is, what 2 cards? Because we could just discard Cavero. And I think it is just Cavero here. Alright. I mean... you got Rest in Peace and One Unknown? Opponent's got to mull this one over. Because I know Cavero's not doing anything in this circumstance for us. Alright. We specifically need to have just a lot of good cards in our hand here soon. Okay, so opponent's going to take 5. We know that they have a Rest in Peace in hand. Maybe you have something else. It's Burst Lightning. Burst Lightning's really good. Burst Lightning is an insanely strong card against us right here. Burst Lightning doesn't kill Deceit, but it does put pressure on us. And they're dealing 7 a turn. Okay, so opponent's just attacking. What are you exiling? Sarkhan. Okay. If you just play Sarkhan. Okay. Beholding the Dragon. But do you have another thing that you can play? I hope you don't. Okay, just Rest in Peace. So it's Rest in Peace and an unknown. Okay, we don't get dealt any damage there. That's big. That is insanely large for us. If we hit Doomsday Excruciator, this actually goes crazy too. Okay, Cavero's not the best, but we take out their Sarkhan, and they're left with Burst Lightning and an unknown in hand. We can present almost lethal. And they have to deal with this Harvester. Okay. Ooh, Nova. Nova's good. Nova is insanely good here. Do we have anything that we can hit to get rid of this Cavero? Or this Dragonhawk? If we have something to get rid of Dragonhawk. Okay. Sarkhan and Hellkite's really strong. You're putting threats on the table against us, and that is not something that we can readily deal with. Okay, stock up. Stock up is a start. Stock up was a start. But I don't know if this is exactly where we want to be. Okay, so what can we do here? I think the problem is... Well, let's start by just doing the first thing, that is swinging. Alright, opponent's not going to take 10. Okay. We don't have the ability to beat this opponent now. So we just have to accept our L. And what do we do? I think it's just going to be bounce Dragonhawk and then take 4 and then die to the Burst Lightning. GG opponent. That was a tight one. I'll see you guys in match number 4. Okay. Match number 4. We're going to be on the draw. Hand could admittedly be a little better, but I don't hate it. If we get something to discard this Doomsday Excruciator, then it feels really sweet. Oh, God. We're playing against control. Alright. So, this will be a slog. This is a slog to end all slogs. Oh. Opponent just plays Voice of Victory. Well, not so victorious now, are you, nerd? Alright, play this as a swamp, and let's go. Now, we really do need something to just bounce any of these. Oh, well, that works. That is a great card for us to just draw here. Alright, are you going to let it resolve? I can't imagine that you will. Ang? Oh, God, this is worse. Your tempo? You're the tempo deck? Okay. That is significantly worse. Alright, Voice of Victory and Ang side by side. I mean, how do we do this here? I definitely feel like we start by doing this Winter Night Stories thing. And then I guess we just discard a creature card? A creature card? Yeah. Yeah. And start by discarding a Doomsday Excruciator. Let's kill this Voice of Victory. And then we will play this Restless Reef. And then we're going to Deceit and Archenemy's Charm our opponent next. And hope that they don't have any type of High Noon or anything right now. Okay. So, swing, do all that. I mean, is it definitely just... Okay, you hit Starting Town. It's definitely just... We do this, look at your hand, kill Ang. Yeah. We do this, look at your hand, kill Ang. And... Well... This feels just obscenely strong right now. Alright, cool. And then... Yeah. I think we just let it all go from there. So Starting Town, Flood Farm Verge. They had Seam Rip. You're casting something. Okay, you're just animating that. I mean, I definitely don't feel bad if... Okay, you hit a multiversal passage. And, okay, you did play Starting Town. Well, let's start by looking at your hand. No response. Taking that. And then we will make the demon. Can you deal with it? I don't know if you can, opponent. Alright. 41 cards exiled. Alright, you got 5 cards left in your deck. Multiversal Passage. Tapped. Are you going to animate? No. Okay. So we can, I guess, just go for this. Black, blue, black, black. And then play that tapped and move to combat. Do you have a trick? No? Okay. Let's mill you. Yep. Spell Snare, High Noon, Starting Town, Aven Interrupter. Yeah, I had a bunch. And now you die a bunch, hopefully. Alright, opponent's got 0 cards in their deck. I've got 4 in mine. I'm about to draw 2. And opponent scoops it up. Let's go. Alright, so they're a white deck. They are running Rest in Peace for sure. Let's bring in these Torpor Orbs. Let's bring in these Shoot the Sheriffs. And I think this might be the time where we bring in Riddler. What do we want to take out? Winter Night Stories is slow. Stock Up feels okay. Requiting Hex is okay. Is Avarice good? Avarice forces them to draw. But I don't think that's really a game plan that we want to rely on here. I could see us just like dropping maybe not the Stock Up, but definitely these Deadly Cover-Ups. Because I feel like we're going to get so blown out by a number of things in this deck. And then run it like that, yeah. Okay. Game number 2. We've got 4 lands, some spells and things. I don't hate it. I like it. It gets there. Okay, opponent starts with the Soul Guide Lantern. That feels like a sign of weakness. Alright, Undercity Sewer. What can we bin? We're keeping the Hex. We are absolutely keeping that Hex. Alright, opponent goes for Voice of Victory. That voice is not noise. So that dies. We will go for a Restless Reef. And then pass. And opponent's going to play something here. I don't know what. They're taking damage to play something. Okay. So this is the tactical. Actually, no. We're not going to do that. Yeah, we're just going to play land tapped and say go. Okay. And I think we can maybe take a hit from this. I think our opponent wants to keep up their card draw, so if they find themselves in a position to do anything with that, then it feels really good for them. All right, we're going to start by warping in a Riddler. If they counter it, rad. But I don't think they're going to. Okay, hit a swamp. God, this deck is really just one splash portal away from being crazy, too. Alright. Okay. Not casting anything, haven't played land. You've probably got an Ang in hand, if I had to take a guess. And so we're going to just keep playing this weird, almost tempo-y game. Alright, this intimidation tactics is going to force something out of them. Alright, what are you doing? I think you're just gonna... Intimidation tactics, what? Are you gonna hit our spell? Yeah. So... You draw this extra card. It's fine. We're gonna cast this again. 3 mana intimidation tactics is strong. Ooh, a Johnny's really good too. Voice of Victory is fine. Alright, I think we're just gonna do this, draw another card. Yeah, I think we're just gonna draw another card. Okay, another Restless Reef. So, probably go Anchorage Ajani. And that's not the worst. Could certainly be better, but like not the worst thing that they could do. Okay. So, what do we want to play here? I think our plays probably need to be bounce Ang. Maybe? Yeah. We're taking 4. I think it's bounce Ang and deal a bunch to their stuff. Bounce Ang, look at their hand. Yeah. So let's cast this for the full shebang. And again, we're playing this like a control deck right now, so opponent's trying to gain a lot of card advantage. Target them with that. Let's bounce Ang and probably kill it or discard it from their hand. Oh yeah, yeah, we're absolutely doing that. Because if this opponent hits the Enduring, yeah, so 6 mana. They don't have a removal spell for our Deceit. Alright. Draw a card. Because we can kill a Johnny. And I'd love to see this opponent tap out. Alright, Voice of Victory. Rest in peace? High Noon. Okay. High Noon's good. High Noon is very good. So I think it's gotta be... We do this. We... We cast this, killing their whole board. Killing their whole board except the Voice of Victory. And then we go straight after a Johnny. We've got a 3/3, which feels less than cool to just be running into this Ajani. But it's still better than like anything else we can be doing. Alright, so we know 3 of the 4 cards in their hand. It's not a land. And honestly, I like Archenemy's Charming the Harvester and just making it a life linker so that we can go after their Ajani next turn. Okay. There's a lot that this opponent can do. Alright. Make a Kithkin. Draw a card. They got 5 in hand. They don't want to swing with this Voice because we will absolutely eat it up with this Harvester. And I think they kind of know that. So if they bounce it, it feels really bad for us. Alright, rest in peace. Exiling all graveyards. Rough. Okay. So, let's swing both of these at a Johnny. Because it has to get off the table. As cool as 10 damage is, it's not good enough for us to just leave it there the whole time. Alright. I mean, if they've got Ang here, we probably lose. In all honesty. Yeah. Ang hurts us a whole lot, actually. Because that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We cannot swing through their board. And they get to draw an extra card there. Yeah. I think this is where they get us. I think we just got tempoed out a little too hard. Because they can swing. And it might have just been better for us to go Harvester at a Johnny, that at them. Yeah. Because I think we just die here. With any attack, I think we just die. So it's like we play this 1 for 1. And we lose. Yeah. Nothing there. Alright. GG opponent. You got us on that one. Alright. Let's see if we can fix things up for game number 3. Okay. So maybe it is good for us to come down the curve just a little bit. Bring in these deadly cover-ups and run it like this. I do like the Winter Night stories, but they're definitely not great. Torpor Orb being able to shut down Aang is huge. And yeah, we'll be on the play. Um, Hand is a little slow. This hand is somehow worse. Okay. Start with Restless and go. And maybe it's just good to get rid of all of these Doomsday Excruciators. But who knows? Alright. Opponent managed to keep 7. They're just going to play land. I can't imagine that they have many 1-drops besides the Soul Guide Lanterns in their deck. Yeah, they just went Abandon Air Temple and pass. We're just going to go for the Watery Grave tapped and pass. Alright. What are they going to do? Probably just land go. Or if they go land Voice of Victory, it's pretty strong too. I mean, yeah, land Voice of Victory is really strong. Soul Guide Lantern. An insane one for us to see on turn 3. This is not great. Alright, land go. Torpor Orb at any point before now would have been great. Alright, Flood Farm Verge and Swamp Go. We're really lining ourselves up to see our Doomsday Excruciator get hit by Aang, and that's going to be bad. What else can happen here? So 3 lands to our 4. They've got 4 lands now. Yeah, we're both just playing the draw go game at this point. Alright, Harvester of Misery is nice. But again, this is which one of us blinks first. If you tap out here, alright, you're shocking that in to do what? Play High Noon. Okay. Alright, well, I mean, it would be cool for us to go and swing here, but I know our creature would get anged very fast, and that's not necessarily great for us. Though I do like this tempo deck. It is kind of sweet. And like locking us to 1 spell a turn and being able to stop us from playing on their turn is huge. Okay. So we can now activate Hold Up our stuff. Are you going to let us do it? Okay. I mean, we're just going to cast this now and exile your thing. Aang is dead. We're never getting this back. That's the unfortunate thing about this. We can never get this back now. Shocking that in. Okay. What's that mean that you have in your hand? A Johnny. Nice. Okay. So I suppose we can just shock in a harvester. Or shock in, yeah. Shock in land. Cast this. Watch it get anged. Oh no, it gets even interrupted. Okay. Well, that's rough, buddy. Okay. We will take 3 to blow up your Johnny. How much do you want to protect it? I imagine not a whole lot. Alright, so you have another one. That's why. Cool. I mean, we can take 3. Do you have another ang? Nice, nice, nice. Okay. The Swift Savior is definitely saving you a lot right now, opponent. Okay. So what can we do? What can we do? I mean, they should activate this abandoned air temple and really start beating us down. Okay. Tick up a Johnny. Swing, get him for 610. Put us to 2. I mean, I would do that at this point, opponent. And I think that might be enough to get you out of this spot. Okay. Well, let's do that. Okay, they're not gonna activate the abandoned air temple. Again, it seems a lot better for them to do it here, but I can understand why they're not doing it this way. Alright, another Soul Guide Lantern. Let's see. Alright, eating up whatever's in our graveyard. We're still gonna die here. Yeah. Because that's only getting us to 8. So it's just... Let's do that for blue. Bounce this back to your hand. Still die in the air. Yeah, we're bouncing your high noon. And now we can play this. And if you got it, Wow. Okay, yeah, they're just doing the thing now. Alright, so 3, 6, and then that's 8 in the air. Yep. You got us, opponent. GG. Alright, let's see if we can turn this into a 3-2 in match number 5. Alright, match number 5. We get to be on the play with, honestly, not a terrible hand as long as we draw some lands. We can Bitter Triumph a Doomsday Excruciator. We can deceit some cards out of our opponent's hand. I mean, there's a lot that we can do here, and I'm kind of cool with it. Flood Farm Verge and do nothing. Alright, let's start by just taking a peek at what you're doing. Are you control or are you another tempo deck? You are control. That is unfortunate for us. Alright. So, we need to have a creature on the battlefield to hit. An opponent just played a plains that they drew for turn. Well, okay, you're consulting. I mean, I'm just taking lands at this point and letting everything else fall in place. Sunbillow, stock up. Yeah. What's good is I guess we can just go Deceit into, or Cavero into Deceit, which is nice. So, black, black, blue, blue. If you had a non-land for us to bounce, we would. Okay, so opponent is mulling over this decision. Next turn we can maybe do some fun things. Cool, look at their hand. There's nothing that we can bounce. Alright, what do we take here? We're definitely just taking this Get Lost and running it. Alright. So, if you stock up into a Wrath... Oh, no, you just hit another one. That's rad. Alright, well... You know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and do this here. And let's go and get a Deceit and a Restless Reef? Is it Deceit and Restless Reef? I think it might just be, yeah, it's Deceit and... Let's actually get the Swamp. Take less damage since they're Jeskai. We will evoke. Take the stock up out of your hand. And then let that die. Alright. You know what? I think it is just going to be... We Deceit. Alright, Deceit. Oh. Well, we evoked Deceit. And that is our fatal flaw. Alright, so we hit Jeskai Rev there. I don't know if that was that smart. Okay, well. We definitely should have a 5/5 beat stick on the battlefield, but we don't. And opponent's just gonna keep that card on top. Well, that card being on top isn't super relevant, opponent. Oh, sorry. Shouldn't be blue. Should be black. And okay, so God, this is actually terrible for us. All right, let's. Well, just put ourselves down a card. All right, seam rip that. Cool. Was this the smartest decision for us? Probably not. We're going to discard this card. Yep. Pass to our opponent. We're so cooked. And opponent scooped it up. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Punt aside, we got there. Yay. Love that. All right. Uh so, what do we want against control? Duress comes in. Cruel Claws Heist comes in. Riddlers and Negates come in. We take out the Requiting Hexes. We take out the Deadly Cover-Ups. We take out Arch Enemy's Charm. And we go down in Excruciator. Actually, no, we don't even take out the Excruciator. I think we just go down the Intimidation Tactics. Yeah. And then we just run it like this. The cleanest version of this deck that we can possibly put together. Except maybe Torpor Orbs could come in over that, but again, that's just being a little pedantic. A little questionable with it, but who knows. Alright, so playing against Jeskai Control. I'm saying words at this point. Pedantic with it. Okay, this hand is a keep. We can duress, we can deceit. We can basically just pick apart their hand slowly but surely. It would be great for us to have a land here. Let's take Consult out of your hand. Flood Farm. Alright, let's shock that in. And then we will take Stock Up out of your hand. Cool. We've taken your card advantage spells. Alright, let us cast our card advantage spell. Oh. Okay. Well, let's bin 2 cards. One of them will be this Bitter Triumph. The other one will be a Doomsday Excruciator. And we'll say go. Thought we would hit a land. Kind of glad that we did that there. Okay. Let's play this stock up. Okay. We're going to take Land Duress. Is it Land Duress? Yeah, it's Land Duress. On the bottom in any order. Gonna take another peek at your hand. We're gonna take your Get Lost. Alright, Sunbillow. Alright, let us warp. And then we will Winter Night Stories. And then we will ditch 2 cards. Yeah, I think we'll ditch 2 cards. We'll ditch Winter Night and a Watery. And then we'll just move to combat. Do all that stuff. Watch that go. And then we will watch our opponent play a Mistrise. Alright, let's... You know what? We fear nothing. We know 2 of the 3 cards in your hand. Everything but the bottom 6. Lightning Helix. A Braid. Crazy stuff there. Okay. So, just Day of Judgment. Alright, well... Actually, let's go ahead and evoke this. One last time. See what you got going on. We know that one of them's a Day of Judgment. It's a No More Lies? Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Let's cast this. Make you draw 3. And then we will play this on a swamp. It's tapped. Go ahead. Do your thing, opponent. You got 1 card in hand. Or 1 card in your library, rather. Stock up. Okay, put that last card in your hand. And opponent scoops it up. Let's go. We hit a solid 3-2. I'll see you guys in the wrap-up. Okay, so what do we think about this Dimir Excruciator, Dimir Demons deck in Standard? Went 3-2, lost some pretty close ones to the Bant Tempo deck and the Boros Dragons list, and honestly, that kind of feels like what Standard's going to be. Always expect people to be running the PT decks on the arena ladder in MTGO leagues, but this deck feels fine into a lot of that. And if you play really tightly and sideboard correctly, which for our first attempt running the deck, I definitely don't think we did, sideboard correctly, make good play decisions, and I think you can do really well with this deck. Is it going to be kind of easy to hate out? Absolutely. As you saw in our tempo game, us not being able to cast more than one spell a turn definitely hurts, and cutting us off of so many things with the airbending mechanic is really huge. I think this deck has a lot of play to it, and I think that's its biggest strength. And if you want to play something mid-rangey, this is the deck to do it with. It feels like an old school, like Pioneer or modern mid-range deck. The power is there. The reanimation stuff is super strong right now with a lot of main board graveyard hate outside of Soul Guide Lantern to deal with the other Superior Spider-Man deck. This feels incredible. And if you have access to the cards, I suggest giving it a try. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what I should play next. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Make some comments down below. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.